A top quality engineer from named Sam Salapour actually revealed some shocking details about those disasters. And we have a clip of the testimony, so you don't have to take my word for it.
Are these planes safe?
Right now, I would not. You know, it's like an earthquake. You know, the big earthquake is coming, but when that hits the building that, let's say if you're talking of a building, have to be prepared to accommodate that type of a, let's say, shakeup. You know, it has to be built properly. Right now, from what I've seen, the airplanes are not being built per spec and per requirement.
So your testimony is the 787 line and the 777, the 777 line are you think are not.
Well, they are doing stuff that increases the risk factors. Okay, when you increase the risk factors, you know, it's not just one. You are doing stress concentrations, that those stress concentrations, like, breaking a paper clip, you do it once or twice, it doesn't break, but it breaks at some time. As the plane gets older, all of these things that, you took, you said it's not a safety issue, it becomes a safety issue.
And the company's response to you was to threaten you?
Threaten you, sideline you, transfer you.
You raised concerns about the 787, and so they transferred you to the 777, right?
Well, yes. Initially, they just cut me off of all the meetings. They took my name out, and then so I was just doing nothing. I wasn't informed of what. Then they transferred me, and they do it pretty stealthy. Oh, we have a job over here. We want you to go over there. So they move you down there, and, I come from like 40 years of engineering background. So when I see, and I've taken a lot of stress classes, even though I'm not a specialist on that, but when there's a problematic area that you see, you can recognize.
Those are some shocking statements to hear, and he seems to be quite serious about it all. I sincerely hope that our lawmakers in the House and Senate continue to investigate the situation because it is a very serious matter. Joining us now to discuss, Republican strategist Bobby Eberle, the host of the 13-minute news hour. He joins me right now. Bobby, lots to discuss about this one, but let's start with the clip of that man making in Congress today about the safety standards. What do you make of it?
Well, it's just shocking. And, you introduced me as a Republican strategist. And in my former day, I was a PhD in aerospace engineering. So I know a little bit about this. And what he's saying, I mean, it hits right on the mark. And everyone should take this to heart because a lot of us fly and a lot of us fly for a living. And there are so many aspects of the safety on these planes. People might think, oh, there's faulty parts that might be used. Well, you can use the best parts. But if you neglect your inspections, if you let the planes stay in service too long, everything adds up. He was talking about bending that paper clip, the fatigue issues, more than almost any other structural vehicle. Fatigue issues come to play in aircraft. Even just pressurizing the cabin over and over and over again leads it to wear out. And so if they're neglecting this for like DEI purposes and hiring other people that aren't quality engineers, you're going to pay the price. And we've seen just a rash of incidents. And so it makes you wonder, what are they putting first on their hiring and reviews of their employees? Because right now what we're seeing is not really good. And when you consider that so many people rely on air travel to get for their careers, it's really alarming.
I knew you were going to bring something up about the DEI. I think you're alluding to the video of the women coming out dancing. They were the same women that worked on that, was it the Alaskan Airlines flight? Yeah, it didn't work out so well. The door completely out, and it does raise a lot of questions. It raises a lot of questions. Are these people fit to be working there? Or what's going on? Is the NTSB, what are they comprised of? Are they the best working people? I don't know. But it also brings another point of leniency of standards in our country. We're seeing this a lot with these jets, these MAX 7s, 737s, and I just don't know. I mean, this could be very dangerous. The people in Alaska, quite frankly, Bobby, were just very lucky that day.
Yes. Yeah, they absolutely were. And you bring up an excellent point. And it's like a lack of accountability culture. You'd like to live in a place where you're responsible for your actions. And we see so much of this, along the spectrum. No cash bail, not prosecuting people we should prosecute. advancing employees that don't deserve it. All of it leads to this lack of accountability where there are major consequences, major ramifications for not doing this. You know, in the criminal justice system, people can get killed from people out on bail. Here, a plane could crash, a door could blow out. People could have gotten sucked out of that thing. And like you said, it's so lucky, but it seems like industry after industry or agency after agency, it doesn't matter. There's different priorities that don't align with what they should.
Yeah, and then how far does this go? So Boeing in charge of the jets, but when we are, when Boeing is sending their, missiles, more jets to Israel, Ukraine, or other allies, are we sending our best? Because if we're not, then we're just money is just going out the haywire. We're just sending them kind of whatever just to cash a quick check, which is extremely just like dangerous, and it's just awful, because if you're going to not send your best, you might as well not expect to win a war.
Exactly. I mean, and that's the thing. It would be kind of a false premise or idea to say that, hey, Boeing is kind of screwing up, or these defense contractors are screwing up in just one area, right? Because it's a culture. It's an environment there of no accountability, no standards. And so, yeah, if you're seeing it in airplanes, why not in missiles or missile defense or drones or whatever it is? I mean, this is top to bottom review that needs to be made from these major defense contractors, these major corporations, and say, look, what are we putting first? It should be quality above all else.
I can't remember the name of the chopper, but I think the Marine Corps uses them. It's almost like like 1 in every 4 times people go on these certain kind of jets that you don't actually like come out alive, because it's so dangerous. But yet right. There's somebody in the system signing this, green lighting it. We're good to go off whatever little standard that they have. It's not only are we putting our just civilians in danger, but the people serving our country too. What precedent are we setting?
Well, we're setting a precedent that, it's like we've seen on these physical fitness standards, right? They're trying so hard to recruit now that, hey, you can be overweight. You don't even have to fit in the uniform, and forget running 10 miles. We'll let you run, like 50 yards or something. I mean, the lack of standards are going to lead to not being prepared, not being well trained, and not having the best of the best, whether that's personnel or equipment. And it goes to this culture that the left have infiltrated and put in place for decades now.
We set a very low bar. It can be seen in other institutes of our society. It can be seen in teaching, the public school system, the level of standard that to meet curriculum these days, where it's something as simple as I'm going to just sit there in front of a room full of 10-year-olds and spew my ideology, and then somehow that gets a pass. I just wonder where else in our in the American world are we allowing this to go on?
Right. The simple answer is everywhere. I mean, we see that education is no longer about math or science or reading or English. Those are just means to an end of training a next generation of left-wing activists. That's all it is. And those left-wing activists go into the job market where the employers, the CEOs, the executive staff are motivated by left-wing ideology, and they just want to push an agenda rather than making a good product. And so you see it, the fallout over and over again. It really doesn't matter the industry.
Yeah, I wonder if more Boeing whistleblowers are going to come out. Obviously, we had that, what happened to that one guy allegedly.
Yeah, we just got to keep him alive, right?
Yeah, right. I don't want to allude to anything, but it's hard not to wonder what really happened. So I don't know, maybe we might hear more testimony and people in Congress speaking out about this. I'm sure Boeing has a slew of lawyers, top brass on their side disputing all of the claims. But I think, as a regular flyer like myself, I'm a little worried now. Do you think the rest of the world is?
Yeah, I think so. And hopefully we get more whistleblowers. And I agree with you. You're going to hear the other side, too. You're going to hear, see scores of data and analysis and charts and all of this stuff showing how they're safe. But if these engineers, I mean, these guys are probably the least likely to want to, seek recognition or airtime or get their 15 minutes. So I would really pay attention to what they have to say.
Oh, it's an interesting one, Bobby Eberle. I didn't even know you would do like 5 different things. You do everything.
I do a little bit of everything.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, thanks so much for coming on with all the expertise you have. Great to see you again.
All right, friends, thanks again for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And before you go, please hit that subscribe button above. Once you do, tell your friends, share it, spread the word about the 13-minute news hour so we can keep growing. And for more great content, check out these videos right here, and I'll see you next time.